Oh,
Hey John, this is Patrick Curley. How are you?
pretty good. How you doing?
I'm amazing. Hey, is this still a good time to chat?
Yeah,
Awesome. Thanks so much for taking my call.
it's all good. I got 6%. I was charging, so we're good.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
Happens to me all the time. So yeah, I wanted to touch base just on our last conversation. Janelle mentioned that your seller can be kind of challenging to work with.
Yes.
So I just wanted to give you a quick call and just work with you to make sure that this is convenient, working with us. So I just wanted to make sure you we were speaking about the tenants last time we were chatting, and there was a cash for keys agreement signed by them. Is that correct?
Yes, we have a cash for keys.
Okay, great. And so the I believe we've talked about a close of escrow for the 24th of August. Is that at the 30-day mark for the cash for keys?
Actually, their cash for keys is 37 days. So
I see.
they have 30 days for escrow to close, and then I allow them 7 days after because they need the money. So depending on their banking situation, I don't remember if we had this discussion. I don't know if the lady has a bank account or not. So I was telling her, if you have a bank account or don't have one, maybe you should get one. So when escrow closes, money can be wired directly to your account, and you would have the money immediately to do what you need to do. Because if you don't, it's going to take X number of days for your account for the money to clear, and you won't be able to do some things. So then I told her, I said, listen, I talked to the buyer, and they're willing to front you X number of dollars to help you get the process going or to get you moved. And she said, that's a great idea, but we need all the money. I said, well, you're not going to get all the money. You're going to get about 20. And then when you completely finally move and everything is out, then you'll get the additional 5 once everything is done and we go through and complete. She was like, oh, okay. So I asked her about getting some money to move earlier, and she was like, they need all of it. They can't just do part of it. I said, okay, that's fine.
I see.
So her her expected move out day was she was thinking she had to leave by the 17th of this month. So by the 17th plus her 7 days, that runs right into the time we're around the 24th. So we got some built-in days. But if we actually look at it, the contract was signed on the 10th. So from the 10th, 30 days from the 10th gives us like to the 20 something, and then they had 12 days to move out. So that gives us all the way to the end of this month, like the 31st of August, for everything to be done.
Okay. Okay. I think we
So
can.
that's just about right. So if I get a couple little hiccups on this end, I still got a little bit of time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think what we should do, just because, again, it sounds like the seller is a little bit, older and challenging to work with. Maybe we should just have one addendum stating everything that we want to get done here, and then we can move the close of escrow to the 31st, indicating vacancy.
Now
Um,
here's the problem: if you move it to the 31st, they don't have money. You get what I'm saying,
well, you
Patrick?
just you just mentioned to them that we're going to be giving them $20,000 up front, right?
No, 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 no. I told them they would get their 20. No, not from you. It would be closing. They would get their 20,000 in closing, and then they would have X number of days to complete to get out. So what I was saying to you is we were giving them 25,000 to move. So once escrow closed, we were going to give them 20,000 so they can move, and then they would get the last 5,000 when everything was completed. It didn't have anything to do with the funds that you were giving us or giving them.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're saying the same thing, maybe just in a different way, because so
Okay.
from our last conversation, so I'll just be, clear. Our main concern is vacancy, right? And so,
Right. You want them out before you do your thing. I got that.
right, and we want to help them, right? So if we can, that's great for us and for them. And from my experience, if they've got cash up front, then they can put a deposit down on their next place, so on and so forth.
That's what I explained to her. I
Yeah.
said, listen, I said, I can get you at least half. I said maybe 10,000 or close to half of the 25 so you can make a move. And she said, well, I discussed it with my husband, but we need all of it. So just in case we don't have somewhere to go, we can put everything in storage and we can stay somewhere until we solidify where we're trying to go. because she said she needs some help looking for a place because her credit isn't that good. And I'm like, you know what, I sympathize with you, but at the same time, I can't let that can't stop you from, moving. She's like, no, it's not going to stop us. But if we got enough money, we can make anything happen. I said, okay, that's fine.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
So
I
I
mean,
met with her. Chanel's met with her. So it's real. She saw 4 to 6 kids there,
uh,
and one girl is pregnant. She's about to have a baby soon.
oh goodness.
Right. Yeah. And Eduardo and the other 2 guys, they saw it too. So
Right.
it's real. And that house is packed full of people. But there has been progress because when I first got there, a lot of stuff is not there like it used to be. The driveway is cleared out. The front of the house is not cluttered as much anymore. So they're actually making some moves to do something. And I keep in contact with her every couple of days because she's like, well, if it's not going through, we still want to live here. I said, no, that's not the case right now, Tanya. So,
Right. Okay. So it sounds like they're expecting cash for keys at close.
yeah,
Okay. All
they're
right.
gonna get a little over 90% of the money up front. I mean, when an escrow closes, they're gonna get their 90% to move, and then once I go back and take a look, we're gonna cut them another $5,000 check to make sure everything is done. So they know when escrow closes after 30 days, they got 7 days to move, not 12. I didn't tell them 12 because I need those 5 days just to do whatever I got to do. But if they go past the 7, I can say, well, I can give you another day or two. You see how I'm working it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's a lot of dates here in front of me, and I'm just a little confused. So I do want to
Okay.
I just want to confirm the close of escrow would be at what date?
Uh, my phone. 1 second. Be the 21st of August. That's like 32 days.
Okay.
That would be 30 days. And then if we got 12 days after, which is, let's see, that would be September 1st when it should be delivered completely vacant, but it could be before September 1st.
Okay. I'm just
So
gonna.
the goal is to have it closed by the 30th so I can give them their money and they can move. And within 5 to 7 days, they should be cleared out. So you should have the property before September 1st ready to go to do whatever you guys are going to do.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So then we don't need anything on the addendum stating.
No, I don't think so. But if we have to change something later, we can. I don't have a problem with that. I think we're good the way we are.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. So I've
So
got.
what's your major concern? What are you more worried about, man? Like, what are you really worried about?
Well,
Them just not moving?
in my experience, and so like we're in the like what I always say is we're in the business of creating homes, right? Not
Right.
taking them away. And
Yes.
so I look at this as problem solving. Like we've got people in there, how do we help them?
Right.
And from my experience, giving them cash up front is more helpful because they can secure a new place. So if it hinges on if them getting their cash hinges on close, it's more of a risk for us because they're now pressed for time to find something to do something with that cash as
Got it.
opposed to giving it to them and helping them through that process, right?
I actually think she's gonna double back and go, I found a place. Is that offer still on the table? That's what I honestly think.
Okay, I mean in that case we can definitely, pivot if that's what's needed.
That or see, when we talked originally, I'm thinking 50%. But if you wanted to give them up to 20 and we can reimburse you, maybe that'll motivate her to move faster. I only said half or 10 because there wasn't a real dollar amount on the table.
Mhm.
So if you want me to tell them, hey, I can give you a majority of the money, and when you leave, I can give you your last $5,000 once you're free and clear. What do you want to do? If you want me to say that, I can do that too, and maybe that'll get them out faster. But I can't count your money or promise your money to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think that it's contextual on it, are we using this money to secure another place? You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it depends really. So if they're like, yeah, I found a rental, I'm able to get in, I just need the cash for a deposit, then
Okay. So
yeah,
that would be on the table if they found something and need it and ready to go sooner than we expect.
100%.
Okay, that's what I needed to know because now I can go back and massage her and say, hey, look, I know I told you about half, but I can give you a majority of the money, and once you're free and clear, you can get the last 5,000 bucks once everything is done.
Yeah,
I don't think she would have a problem with that.
that sounds great. Okay, great.
So what I'll do is I'll call her this afternoon and say, hey, Tanya, how's it going? I just got an update from the buyer. If you're willing, they got, a majority of the money up front, and we can get you the last part after you're completely gone. I'll let her know.
Okay. Okay,
And then
cool.
that'll probably ease the tensions for you guys to make sure it's available, free, and clear.
Okay, awesome. All right.
You good with that?
I am.
Okay. I'll
Okay.
give you a call either this evening or tomorrow with an update.
Well, there's just one more thing I wanted to discuss with you. And
Mhm.
again, I wanted to make sure that you and I are in communication and I can help you relay this to your seller. So we're ready to close. There's one obstacle in our way right now, and
What's that?
that's the information that I'm getting back from my underwriters.
Okay.
So after the contractor walked the property, I guess what they're telling me is they didn't have all the information they needed going in. And so I got a lot of feedback coming back.
Got it.
And they're telling me that at 600, we're not only not hitting our financial target, but we're losing money.
Okay.
So I asked them, well, I need to know exactly where we need to be. And they came back at 550.
Ooh, 50,000, man, that's a big dip.
Well, so the feedback that I got, and I'll give you some details here, is that they need to knock down the carport. They're looking at a resale value of 875 with an ADU and 800 without one. There was significant sloping and foundation work needed in the front of the property. The layout that the house
It's a horrible layout.
yeah, the layout needs to be changed. So everything, so to put this simply, without wasting too much time here, everything needs to be gutted besides pretty much the windows and the roof, right?
Mhm.
And so what?
To get your money back. I got it.
Yeah, and really, to be honest with you, John, like this one, we're kind of just keeping our guys busy.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's not like we're getting rich on this one. We're just
I got it.
barely hitting those numbers. So I want to make this as simple as possible and work with you. I don't want to make your job harder than it already is.
You're not, man. This is the business. This is how it works.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. So do you think, I mean, like I mentioned, we're able to perform at 550. Do you think that's something that your seller would be open to?
I actually think if you brought it up a little bit more, I probably can sell it. Because I've already explained to her what might happen. That we're going to go in this deal at 600, and then they're going to find some things wrong and probably want to go down on the price in the middle of the deal, which this is actually already happening. So I kind of let her know what the deal was.
Yeah.
If you can bring it up to maybe 570, I probably can sell it. 565, 570. I think you got a deal.
Like I mentioned, and
550 is that's the bottom line for you guys.
And then this number is not a counter and let's go back and forth number. It's literally,
That's your,
if we can't hit that number, we're losing money.
got it.
Yeah. And I do not want to tie you up, and this is coming from it's coming from my underwriters.
You're in the business to do some things. I got it.
Yeah.
So what I explained to Jonelle also was that if she didn't want to open escrow by a certain date, I have a ton of backup offers. But same thing's probably going to happen. They're going to offer me more than what you did, and the numbers aren't going to work out. So they got to do something different. So what I'll do is give me until what's today? The second. Give me till tomorrow so I can massage my seller and see what she says.
Okay. John, I appreciate it. And I will say this, we've closed a lot of properties in this area. We know the area, we know the numbers. And, one thing I would just mention to the seller is, you can close at this price today, or you can close at this price later on, because it's just going to be the same offer.
We got that. And she knows that property needs a lot of attention.
Okay,
so
John.
With the sloping floor and maybe foundation problems, she understands.
Well, I greatly appreciate that you do, and it sounds like you're going to be able to convey that to her, no problem.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right, John, I'll update my team, and I'll be hearing from you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay,
Definitely.
fantastic. I appreciate you.
No problem, man.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye. So one of the most important things that you can establish in any conversation or negotiation is rapport. How you generally do that is showing empathy and interest. And with the conversation that you just heard, what you want to shift your focus to, and I would watch it a few more times and take notes, is that I'm always positioning myself in a place where I want to make things easier on the agent and more convenient for the seller. So I am embedding that tone in the conversation through the entire conversation, right? So that is extremely important, and it might be overlooked, but price drop and negotiating price drops is a very difficult conversation to have. It's a conversation that immediately infers friction, right, and contention. But you want to position yourself in a place where you're trying to make this convenient on the agent and or seller, and you're coming from a place of third partying the blame too. And that's the second point that I want to make is you'll notice that in this conversation, I acted like my hands were tied, right? I received feedback from my contractors and from underwriting, and unfortunately the numbers don't work, right? And so when you put it and we frame it like that, it no longer becomes I'm right and you're wrong. It becomes, look, I'm trying to work with you. I'm trying to make this convenient for you and your seller. And these guys are telling me that I'm not in the right place with my number and we need to go down. So really, really important that you third party it in a way. And I love using underwriters as the third party to actually pin it on, right? The last thing I'll note is that I started the conversation off with anything but a price drop, right? And so when you don't have something else to talk about, what you want to do is you want to create some context in the conversation. So let's say there's no terms or anything, there's no tenants like there was in this situation. What I would do is I would call them and start off by giving them feedback and just saying, look, I'm getting feedback from my contractors and underwriters, and I just wanted to make sure that I'm able to work with you to communicate with your seller, and let that sit in the air and let them say, well, of course. And then from there, you go into the feedback that you're getting. And then you say something along the lines of, well, I really want to make this work for your seller. And can we both agree that this is an investment opportunity? And what I mean by that is that this is truly a fixer. No homestead buyer is going to buy this house and deal with it. No one's going to move into this house and renovate it. It's in such distress that this is truly an investor opportunity. And once they say, yes, I agree with you, then you get them to say, well, you mentioned that your seller was willing to work with an investor like me. In order for us to hit those numbers, we have to be at 7 to 10% net resale value. And in order for us to be there, we need it at this number. Is that something that your seller might be open to? So again, it's a conversation, not a confrontation. And the difference is the way that you position yourself, the context that you're building around it, and the fact that you are trying to open up a conversation and create the context of the fact that you are an investor. You said you wanted to work with me, and this is where we're at. Can we meet halfway? I hope that helps.